Joining us on 710 KURV is Pallavi Ahluwalia, who is an immigration attorney herself. Pallavi, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Now, I think this came as a surprise to all of us yesterday when reports came in that President Trump wanted to temporarily, that's the key word there, suspend immigration. And this is for legal immigration, like legal immigrants. So green card holders, visa holders, all that stuff, correct?
Correct. It is correct. The president did make this announcement. It just really came as a surprise to all of us. It was very stunning because a lot of the legal immigrants who are in the country are actually in the front lines fighting COVID-19 as physicians, nurses. A lot of them are immigrants from India and China. So there are a lot of people who are working to help the U.S. residents.
But so for those immigrants, legal immigrants that are here right now, does this executive order, will it affect them, or is this for those new ones trying to come into the country, because of what's happening right now?
So Roxanne, we don't have that much clarity right now. We're hoping that we will know. We've seen some versions of interpretations and drafts that are out there of the executive order, but haven't really put eyes on it yet. So hopefully the drafts are getting modified for them not to impact and create exceptions for what companies consider as essential workers, and provide that carve out for people who are actually helping. And also the people who are already here and working. I don't think they should be sent out of the country right now, especially when it would be tough for them to travel as well. So
even though there are a lot of uncertainties when it came to President Trump saying he wants to suspend immigration, what is something that we do know, or that you guys know as immigration attorneys?
Well, there was going to be a pause to the issuance of green cards. So there are a lot of people who've been waiting in line, and some of them for several years, and they're waiting to get this last step in and then come basically adjust in the country. And these are the people who are inside the country. There's some that are abroad. Now, the ones that are abroad that are waiting for interviews to come into the country, those are disrupted anyway because all the U.S. consulates in most countries are closed and they're only open for emergency services. So with or without this order, green card potential immigrants through consulates are not coming in right now. They're going to be abroad for a little while till the consulates open and things turn to normal. So we know
Joining us on 710 KURV is Pallavi Ahluwalia. She's an immigration attorney talking about how President Trump vows to suspend immigration and how it's leaving some key questions unanswered.
This is Davis Rankin. Ma'am, one of the questions apparently is, does he have the lawful authority to do this? And apparently he does, from what I'm hearing. What do you know? What do you believe?
Yes. Well, for health reasons, there's Title 42 of the U.S. Code, which enables him to halt immigration for health reasons. And also a recent 2018 U.S. Supreme Court decision upheld his travel ban, and that gives him legal precedent. So basically what I'm saying in simple terms is that there are things that was as recent as 2018 that established his power as a president for immigration and to ban groups of people from coming in. But it would be, if this were to happen, this would be unprecedented in American history. It's never ever happened, not for the legal immigrant.
He says, sorry, go ahead, Davis.
I always have this vision of legal immigrants waiting to show their documents to a guy at the airport. Where do legal immigrants, is this people who just fly into the airport, or are they waiting?
No. This is, obviously. So this is a complicated process, Davis. The way this works would be, a lot of them have already come here on temporary work visas, and they have applied to get their green cards within the country. They have tough conditions to maintain status, to pay their taxes, not take public benefits, keep working if they are coming on work-based categories, and then apply for what we call an adjustment of status. So a huge number of those that get their green cards, especially the employment-based ones, are already in the country and they're adjusting status to get the green cards. There's some and a large amount of family-based green cards that come through the consulate, so they don't show up with the paperwork to the airport. They already have had a visa stamped even if it's a green card visa stamped on their passport, at the consulate. They've met all the conditions. They've done paperwork that has taken some people 15 years, some 25 years, and some maybe 4 years. And after they've stood in that line, they're now ready to come into the country to reunite with family members who had sponsored them.
So they're now waiting until who knows
So
how
we'll
long.
have to know a bit more, right? So we have to know who are the ones, because I also saw an exception carved out for U.S. citizens sponsoring their kids or their
Yes.
wives. So there was that exception. Then I read a broader exception that this is not going to impact green card holders or U.S. citizens who are sponsoring relatives. So we just have to see who this impacts. And at some point, it just may be just an announcement with not that much teeth in it, and something that already is in place.
Yeah.
And that what
Yeah.
may be in place is the fact that the country shut down anyway. So there aren't people coming into the country who are immigrants at this time at all anyway.
Oh, well, that raises a question. We get a tremendous number, I'm told anyway, of very wise, very smart people who are very wise in computer type stuff from India.
Sure.
Where you originate. Are they still coming? Are they?
No, people that are in the country are already in the country. If the U.S. citizens got laid off, those workers got laid off too, and they have just some 30 days or 60 days to leave the country. Okay, so that's one set of people. So they would be impacted if the U.S. worker got impacted. But there are some companies who are still keeping their employees going if they think that the work is still ongoing for them. Some businesses are still running, and we're talking about the high-tech businesses that are still, even if remotely working, they're still working. For those people, those employees are still here. They're still essential. They're still specialized. They still have their master's or PhD degrees from the U.S., and they are contributing and providing value to their employers. Now, for this executive order to impact them would be really bad. And I believe from something that I've just recently read a few seconds back said that a New York Times reported that there was a lot of pressure and pushback from the business community. I'm talking about the big companies to the government. And I think those H-1Bs will probably be left alone.
So the lives, unless you have your citizenship, your life can be very uncertain.
Correct. Yeah. Well, if you're green card holders, you're fine too, which means that you've already gotten your permanent resident card, and that you're in the country, maintaining your residence, paying your taxes. So one little note that I'll leave everyone with here is, so though the H-1Bs can be banished from the country, you have to also understand these H-1Bs do pay taxes. All the taxes that any U.S. worker does, they make good salary, so they pay a higher tax, but they cannot file for unemployment benefits, none at all. Okay, so they're not qualified to file for unemployment benefits. So though they are paying taxes, it's pretty one-sided when it comes to that. So for them to say, okay, you do what you have to do for this employer of ours who needs you, and you can pay the taxes. If you're laid off, too bad. So is everyone else. So you go back. If you're laid off, others can apply for unemployment, but you're not allowed to apply for unemployment. And if the government wishes, by executive order, we can just send you packing home, and you can leave your mortgages unpaid and your rents unpaid.
You have to pay the tax, but you can't get it back in unemployment benefits. Wow.
Correct, you can't.
But
welcome to America.
But who you're talking about right now are not green card holders. They're just people that are here right now with visas.
No, these are on H-1B visas. They're different O-1 visas, P-1 visas. These are all specialized workers in their own fields that have attained excellence in that field, and that's why they're here. They're not here just because someone likes them. They're here because they're contributing and providing value to an employer. I mean, why wouldn't an employer hire someone that's locally available? It's only because there isn't somebody, and that's why that person was hired. And they may have been trained here by going to school here, by studying here.
Yeah. I think we probably have time for one more. My observation is, having been in the hospital like 3 years ago, there are a tremendous number of nurses from the Philippines here.
Mhm.
Tremendous number of Filipinos have showed up. I don't know if they've taken citizenship or what. I don't know if what kind of visas would
Yes,
they be on?
they would be. They may already be green card holders, we hope, but a lot of them are immigrants from Philippines. There are lots of them from Philippines, you're right. There is a huge number from the south of India. I'm from the north, but a lot of South Indians are trained nurses in India and they immigrate here. So there are a lot of them here that are nurses, but there are lots and lots and lots of physicians who are Indian.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
A lot of them,
Oh,
a lot
hell.
of immigrant
Oh, yeah.
physicians. So we've known of so many who are right now, some that passed due to the virus. They weren't well protected, and they were immigrants, or they are still immigrants. I don't know their legal statuses as to what visas they
Yeah.
hold, but these are real stories of real people who are on the front line. So something like this is just very distracting, and it's not very productive, because then it's involved everyone all day today to see if it's going to impact them. And look at the people who are actually working the front lines, what they must
Yeah.
be thinking. Okay, so I'm helping, but am I going to be kicked out or not? Calling their lawyer, calling people, calling to find out
Yeah.
whether they're going to get
Oh,
impacted.
yeah. Yeah.
Very disruptive.
The
very
uncertainty.
disruptive.
Last question, Pallavi, and you have like 20 seconds. Even though President Trump is saying that he's planning on suspending immigration right now, it hasn't happened yet, right? Or has it already?
No, it's just an announcement. The executive order is in draft form. He's backing off from a few things, so it may happen soon, but not yet.
All right. Pallavi
Thank you,
Ahluwalia,
ma'am.
thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.